There's a word that's been really important for me the last years working in this field, and that's feeling safe. To feel safe means you're on a really okay place.
You're comfortable. You feel safe sharing information,
Yeah.
maybe that you wouldn't with others.
Yeah, and
You
I
feel
think
good about yourself. You trust the other person.
yeah, I think you can
Just
put
trust.
all the good words in the word safe. A lot of overthinking is also about not feeling safe.
So it's sparked from the state of not feeling safe, basically.
Yeah. It's easy to see in other places, for example, when it comes to economics. 2 years ago, when the prices were really high when it comes to energy, a lot of people were unsafe because they were thinking, what's going to happen now?
Yeah.
If we can start to sort of act on what makes me feel safe, there could be an easy way to sort of start.
Yeah, maybe that's a good framework.
Yeah, you have to act on that. Okay, I have to fulfill some of my needs.
Yeah.
Because that's about being myself. And that's about being safe. I have to get some point of view of what the other person thinks about me. Because I'm a bit unsure these days. I have to say, do you still like me? Because that's what I'm a bit unsure. But we don't say that. It should be easy for me to say to you, you don't like me. I feel a bit sort of unsafe around us now. I'm a bit unsure if you like me or not. There was this guy, and I think that sort of wraps it up. I met him when I was doing my master degree. He was like 40 years old, and I was 30, I think. He was together with his girlfriend from when they were 12 years old.
Oh, wow.
They've been together since they were 12. And he was talking about her like he was still in love. And I was like, how do you do that? They had 4 kids, I think. And he was like, it's not easy. We were really young when we became parents. They were 19, 21 when they got the second, and they had a big crisis. And they said, we want to be together, but we're not in a good place now. We don't talk to each other. And then they said, okay, they made a contract that every night after the kids been sort of put in bed, they went out to they had like this winter garden stuff.
Yeah.
And they shared a cigarette and a glass of wine. And the point was that they were sharing it, but it was a time frame. Because how long do you need to sort of 10 minutes, 15 minutes? And they didn't smoke regularly. It was just that in that context. And they didn't drink a lot either. But it was in that context. And he said it was just sort of to have a time frame. The criteria for being in that room was we're not going to talk about work and we're not going to talk about the kids. And in Rogaland, we're not going to talk about the weather.
The weather, yeah.
And he said it was sort of, we didn't say anything the first times. We didn't know what to say. But after a while, it was really sort of started in one way or another. But they start to see each other. They start to asking things about each other. They start to talk about each other, about things they have never talked about. And it was just in the framework of 10 minutes each day. And he said, if we started a discussion, it ended because it was those 10 minutes. And he said it was really okay because he could disagree in something she said. But then it was stop, and he could go out, and the next day he had thought about it, and he had another point of view. After a while, it was so safe in that room. We can talk about everything. Nothing was unsafe. And that was only 10 minutes.
Created a safe space that was time boxed. Yeah, that's a beautiful practice.
They actually did it when they were on journeys as well. He cut up the smoke in 2, cigarette in 2, and called his wife. Especially when there's kids involved, we can go many weeks without actually talking to each other. We talk about work, we talk about the kids, we talk about other people, but we don't really talk about each other or with each other.
And since they do it that frequently, it also doesn't allow for friction to build up over time.
That's the thing.
Right? A small thing doesn't become a big thing because there's no time for that. Because maybe tonight you're going to address it.
Yeah.
Or tomorrow night.
And that's the thing. Other people will say the word check in. We have to check in with each other each day. Are we all right? If we do that every day, it becomes normal to say, yeah, today I was a bit confused because you said something and I was a bit afraid. Okay, then I can explain. Okay, yeah. Oh, you meant that. Okay.
You resolve it.
Yeah, and it's safe. The thing we often do is that we take that conversation every half year, the big conversation, should we stay or should we go? And you bring all the stuff you have built up for the last half year. But if you do 10 minutes every day, just check in. And we should do it with friends as well.
Yeah.
Are you okay? We should do it with co-workers. Gottman and Gottman, the sort of couple who has done the most research on couples, they say things really easy. They say, if you want to have a good relationship, have fun with each other. Do fun stuff. A lot of us are in relationships, and the only time we talk is when it's problems.
And that creates this pattern that you don't want to talk because it's probably going to be something negative.
Yeah.
Probably it's going to be what kind of problem is it this time? Yeah, I think it's really, really important to be aware of what things can you influence and how to worry about those, and what things can you not influence and how to worry about those. And those are different, very distinct categories. For instance, I mean, it might suck that it's raining today, but I can't do anything about it.
We can't do anything about it.
So why put any effort into being upset about it?
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with the war example. I mean, there's nothing you can do to influence it. Doesn't mean that you don't feel empathy or you don't care about it, but it shouldn't influence your day-to-day feelings too much because it's out of your control, like 100% out of your control.
I'm an overthinker, but I'm becoming more and more aware of my own overthinking, working with people who overthink.
I think this is key, that the way to get out of overthinking is not to think more or from a different angle necessarily is taking action. Action will bring you out of it. And one of the things that you're doing is guiding them towards one action that could be very helpful. I want to circle back to the book a little bit, and given the book and all the stories, what are the things that you would like women or maybe partners in general to take away from understanding these intimate worries and desires that you describe in the book?
When I wrote the book, it became clear to me that this book wasn't to men. It was actually mostly to women. To understand the men, not the myth, but what's behind the myth.
Being aware that there could be other underlying reasons.
Yeah, I say it to the students. There's two things being a social worker. You need a big heart and you need to be curious. Maybe I think the same thing in a relationship.
That's well said.
To be curious about the other person can make things much more easier to deal with. I think we go way too much in defending ourselves or saying to ourselves there's something about me. We go the other way than being curious on what is sort of going through your head these days. And I think if we ask, we get an answer. But the problem is we don't ask.
If you appreciated that, then click here for more content like this. Go on, click it. And don't forget to subscribe. Be well.